What's going on, wrestler family? Welcome back to the channel. So this video is called Roman Reigns reunites with ex-Bloodline member. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman Reigns reunites with former Bloodline member, a top WWE star re-signs, a new WWE title set to debut, Bobby Lashley shoots on Triple H, an unlikely new team debuts after SmackDown, the next international WWE PLE location leaked, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number one, Cody Rhodes' new challenger revealed.
I wouldn't call him a new challenger, right? We just saw Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes mentally and emotionally manipulate this man. We just saw emotional and mental abuse on the TV screen, and we celebrated like some sickos, right? Just because it's Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis. That is a heel tactic to use a confused Ray and use Jedi mind tricks to get somebody to get in the ring and get their face beat in so they won't win this title. That's pretty messed up. That's messed up. But all jokes aside, I think that whole thing was pretty fantastic, man. I love that whole segment, though.
Whilst Cody Rhodes' WWE title feud with Solo Sikoa didn't exactly light the world on fire, luckily it appears that WWE are getting back on track when it comes to Rhodes' reign. Rhodes kicked off SmackDown last night and he informed the fans that he wanted to face Kevin Owens for the WWE title at Bash in Berlin at the end of the month. What followed was some excellent character work from Owens, who stated that his win-loss record doesn't remotely justify a shot at the WWE title. This was great to see, as win-loss records should matter, and a babyface outright addressing their less-than-stellar record is a rarity. The match was made official by Nick Aldis, and Rhodes vs Owens for the WWE title will indeed take place in Germany at Bash in Berlin. Fans are theorizing that this could lead to an Owens heel turn, and this is badly needed, as Owens has been feuding with the Bloodline for what seems like a lifetime. Number two,
it could be an Owens heel turn, or it could be the fact that Randy Orton is going to get upset about the fact that Cody Rhodes didn't offer him a title match, or maybe Randy Orton will ask Cody like, "Hey, since you gave Kevin Owens an opportunity at the title, can I get an opportunity?" And maybe Cody isn't that, quick to say yes. And that's going to infuriate Randy Orton down the line. And then maybe we'll get that turn from Randy, which I can't wait for that to happen. Because Cody versus Randy, and I've told the people this from the beginning when Cody came over to SmackDown. If Randy Orton turns into that Savage Randy and that becomes a match between him and Cody, this is going to be, outside of the Bloodline, this is going to be the best storyline that Cody has ever had in his title reign so far, regardless of who he faced before or after Randy Orton. It does not matter. If it's not including the Bloodline, this will be the best story one-on-one that they'll have between Cody and anyone else during this title reign. And I cannot wait for that to happen.
Matches that matter. One of the strengths of SmackDown last night was that 90% of the matches had meaning. There were numerous matches with title implications, and this meant that there were no wasted minutes on the broadcast. WWE are delivering a tournament for the #1 contendership for the tag titles, which has instantly drawn attention to the tag division, and this has also given names such as the Street Profits and Pretty Deadly a meaningful place on the show. Number three, the US title.
That's one of the things I complained about, is that I wish they would showcase the tag division a lot more and show them more love and make them look more important. And you know what? I can't complain no more, because SmackDown for the past 3 weeks have been doing that. So I love the fact that they're giving them some love.
Judges. Logan Paul's extended US title run was met with negative reviews, mainly because Logan hardly ever defended the title. Now that LA Knight is champion, this opens the door for WWE to build actual TV feuds over the once prestigious title. It looks set that LA Knight will be embarking on a feud with Santos Escobar, then based on the heel side of the Blue Brand, a feud with Carmelo Hayes seems like a logical destination. Number 4, Roman Reigns is back. Roman Reigns made his presence felt during the main event segment of the show as he took the fight to the Bloodline 2.0. Reigns received a nuclear reaction, and seeing Reigns as a babyface without it being forced and unnatural is certainly going to take time to get used to. The WWE are evidently building towards Reigns vs Solo Sikoa, however it's unclear when this match will take place. Reigns is set for next week's SmackDown, yet there is no news as of yet in relation to Reigns if he'll be working at Bash in Berlin. But that was a good...
I'm sure he won't, and that's the other thing. We saw Roman Reigns beat up a guy with one eyeball, and we just seen Cody manipulate somebody earlier in the show. Bro, this that's a hate crime, Romy. How will we celebrate that, man? We some sickos, and I love it.
About the bad is number 1, where is Nia Jax?
Yes.
The 2 primary women's titles on the main roster are supposed to be world titles. Therefore, it was extremely strange that the new women's champion Nia Jax was nowhere to be found on the show. WWE did have a women's segment on the show, yet all they did in terms of Jax was to promote an appearance for next week. This seems like an odd creative move, as surely the new world champion of the women's division should be present on the first show after a major win. Number 2, does SmackDown
Listen guys, really quick, I know I'm talking a lot on this one, but that one for sure, it makes sense why people are upset about this. Because besides LA Knight, Nia Jax is the newest champion that you have on SmackDown. Why isn't she on the show last night? You know? And it makes me think about how they were kind of handling Bayley when she had her title reign, where she was barely on any PLE posters at all, let alone any SmackDown posters, as the women's champion for that brand, the highest prestige you can have as a solo women's competitor on that brand, and she couldn't even get on posters. So are we going to continue this trend? I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. Now, I know they're going to have her celebration next week, but I wish they would have did it this week. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully, it's something really, really cool.
Need more time. One of the major flaws on SmackDown each week is that they simply don't have time to feature everyone on the roster. This is of course a limitation of having a 2-hour show, and there was discourse last night regarding whether or not WWE should look to expand to a 3-hour format similar to Raw. This would be a bold move for WWE to make, and 3 hours of SmackDown would definitely make some fans question their life choices on a Friday night. Do you guys think SmackDown having an additional hour would be a smart move? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, there was no downright
Man, if you're not doing nothing at 9 o'clock, you ain't doing nothing at 10 o'clock, bro. That's I guess I'm just playing. Everybody's life is different. But for me, you know, that's how I look at it for my lifestyle, not anyone else's.
This show did a great job coming out of SummerSlam, and the road to Bash in Berlin is already heating up. What did you guys think of the blue brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at a top WWE star re-signs. Our top story today takes a look at some positive news relating to US champion LA Knight. According to notable source Fightful Select, LA Knight has restructured and extended his WWE contract for a large money increase, and he'll be remaining for the company for several years. This is wonderful news, as LA Knight has been one of WWE's top stars ever since he ditched the infamous Max Dupree gimmick, and he's certainly a name that deserves a significant pay increase. Congrats to LA Knight on the new deal. Next up, Roman Reigns reunites with former Bloodline member. Paul Heyman has been off WWE TV ever since he was taken out of action by the Bloodline 2.0, and now WWE have basically confirmed that Heyman is back with Roman Reigns in official capacity. Earlier today, WWE uploaded a behind-the-scenes look at SummerSlam 2024 to their photo gallery on their official website. This gallery had some fantastic photos, yet the most interesting one was a behind-the-scenes shot of Reigns and Heyman side by side.
Why did he come out
WWE
then?
would have taken hundreds of backstage photos at SummerSlam last weekend, so the inclusion of this specific photo is no doubt a deliberate choice to allude to the fact that Heyman and Reigns are still associated with one another. Next up, a new WWE title set to debut. A number of months ago, Triple H promised that the women's division will be involved in the WWE Speed concept on X, and last night Triple H followed through on this promise. Taking to X, the game stated, "Time to turn WWE Speed up another notch. Excited to announce that WWE Speed Women's Championship Tournament will premiere September 4th at 12 PM Eastern Time at 9 AM Pacific, exclusively on X. This will give the women's division a bigger platform, but some fans are already criticizing the move, as some believe it would just make more sense for the WWE to introduce a main roster women's mid-card title."
Yes, I've been begging for years, bro.
Next up, Bobby Lashley Shoots.
I've been begging for years. Like, why don't they just give them a mid-card title? Why give them the Speed Championship? And is the original WWE Speed, is it doing that good that they want to add a women's division to that? Now, I watch it here and there, not as often as other people do, but I didn't know it was doing that great. But please, give them a mid-card title. You did it for NXT. Why can't you do it for a main roster? There's tons of women who will make a great mid-card champion and probably will never get an opportunity to sniff at the main women's championships. And which, to me, in my personal opinion, I understand that life isn't fair, but I think that's just not fair for these ladies. You know, give them more of an opportunity on the main roster. Because if they're not the main champions, if not a part of a tag team, then it seems like they're just sitting there, floating around, popping up in random moments and things like that. So that's just my opinion on that.
On Triple H. It's believed that Bobby Lashley is now a free agent, and Lashley is already making the media rounds to discuss his WWE tenure. Speaking on the Laboratory podcast, the former WWE champion discussed whether he prefers Vince McMahon or Triple H's booking, and Lashley had an honest take on the matter and stated that he didn't have much of a connection with the game. If I say the wrong thing right now, I had a connection with Vince. Vince understood me. Vince was big on
What?
the show. He looked at people that were stars. He saw that in me. There were a lot of little nuggets that Vince would give me throughout my career and tell me different things. Vince looked at me like, I can tell Bobby works his ass off. I can send him anywhere around the country to represent the brand. He looked at me like a star. I like Vince. I haven't really had too much of a connection with Hunter. Hunter has his guys. I've tried to, but we really haven't worked enough together to get to know each other. Lashley does have a
Huh.
strong point here. It was McMahon who booked him to become WWE Champion, and since Triple H took over WWE Creative, he noticeably struggled with how to book and present the talented star. What do you guys make of Lashley's comments, though? Is he right? Let us know in the comments down below.
I mean, I
Next
can't
up,
tell him if he's right or wrong with having a connection with Vince more than Triple H, but it's kind of weird because although yes, they're absolutely right. Bobby Lashley did have, the title run and he was booked incredibly strong. He had some funny moments, especially when they booked him with Leo Rush and they had that whole situation. But then they had these weird moments where he bend over and slap his butt, and they had the Bobby Lashley sisters and all that stuff, and they had him standing on top of the stand and posing and all. Like they just had him doing some weird stuff. So naturally, I would think he would lean more towards Triple H, but if he didn't have a relationship with him, then I can completely understand where he comes from. I know a lot of people don't like Vince, so it's easy to say that, in any situation, if anyone had to choose between Vince and anyone else, it doesn't matter who it is, people would always choose the other person. But again, we never know what's going on backstage or what type of relationships these wrestlers have with these individuals. So, hey, he spoke his truth, whatever.
Ricochet set for AEW debut? According to reports, former WWE star Ricochet is now a free agent. It's a common consensus that Ricochet is AEW bound, and according to Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio,
Oh boy.
Ricochet could make his official AEW debut any week now. I don't know when he's coming in, maybe it's Wembley. I believe Ricochet's contract expired in July, so he's free. He could debut any week now, but we haven't heard his name mentioned. Next up, an unlikely
That's the thing,
new
though,
team.
man. Like I said this last night on my stream. It's just like when it comes to, and I'm sorry for stopping it so much, guys. It's just, I just have a lot to say. But as you can see, but when it comes to like Dave Meltzer, again, I respect him, but he says like stuff that's kind of obvious. Like he basically just said, I don't know. He took a whole paragraph to say, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. And that's pretty much the same thing that anyone else has. And I get that he has like insiders and stuff like that. But there's some things that, when people like boast it up, like, oh, Dave Meltzer said this, we don't know if he's going to AEW. Just because somebody leaves WWE doesn't necessarily mean they're automatically going to AEW. They may want to spend some time in the indies and just kind of get that feel of how it felt when they first started wrestling to kind of regain that love all over again. So you just never know. But, salute to Ricochet and, much success to whatever he decides to do next.
Debuts after SmackDown. And WWE booked a rather unusual tag team match for the dark match for last night's SmackDown. Liv Morgan teamed with Dominic Mysterio to take on the unlikely duo of Kairi Sane and Braun Strowman. Sane and Strowman don't exactly have an established history, so it's unclear what the aim of this tag team pairing was. But based on the footage from fans and attendance, the two did surprisingly have solid chemistry as a duo, and it'll be interesting to see if this partnership is explored on TV in the coming weeks and months. Sane and Strowman got the win in the match when Sane pinned Morgan, so it's possible that WWE are planting the seeds for a Sane vs Morgan women's title feud, which would certainly be something new for the women's division over on Raw. Next up, John Cena pushing for international dates. It was confirmed this summer that John Cena will be retiring in 2025. Cena discussed retirement talk during an appearance on TalkSport, and the WWE great revealed that he wants there to be UK dates involved in the tour. As you know, I'm retiring from in-ring performing next year, and we'll start in January and we'll do our last match in December 2025. I really hope there are some UK dates involved in that farewell. I meant what I said, and I said the same thing in Canada. The UK and Canada have been such strong supporters of the WWE through thick and thin. I campaigned for WrestleMania to be located in London because I think London has absolutely earned the right to host the grandest stage of them all. And finally, a next international WWE PLE location leaked. Our final story today takes a look at which country could be the next to host a WWE Premium Live event. According to PWN on X, Italy is set to host a WWE PLE in 2025. It's unknown which PLE this will be, yet WWE hosting events such as Backlash internationally seems to work incredibly well. When Nick Khan took an executive role in WWE, it was his mission to expand WWE's market in international locations.
He's definitely doing that.
Delivering on that aim. But there you have it, folks. The wildest news stories.
Interesting. What was the most interesting thing to you guys in this video? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me on this channel. Pay attention to the community tab. I will let you guys know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to be trying some new things, probably starting this week. So thank you again for your support. Salute, peace, have a good day.